it's my pleasant duty to introduce our group judge. He is one of Britain's top toy judges who has been involved with dogs all his life, and with toy breeds in particular since 1963. He has bred and exhibited many champions of various breeds within the toy group. A championship show judge since 1979, who has a long-time experience in judging at championship show level both overseas and here in the United Kingdom. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Richard Haynes.
Here is our judge for the toy group. 23 breeds to look at, and our judge, Richard Haynes, is awarded CC since 1975, judged his first group in 1990, as here they come, the first breed coming into the ring now. Joining me is Jessica. This is the Affenpinscher. Quaint little dog, monkey-like expression.
Good evening, Peter. Yes, and here's our second contender, the Australian Silky Terrier. How exciting, we're on our last group.
It is exciting, isn't it? And this is the Bichon Frise, a very highly presented breed, origin from the Mediterranean somewhere.
And this, the little Bolognese.
The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, large, dark eyes, true expression, indication of his sweetness of character.
Now, the first of our two Chihuahuas, the smallest dog in the world, but with the biggest temperament, I should imagine. This is the long coat Chihuahua.
And this is its undressed version, the smooth coat Chihuahua.
I'm sure it would take issue with you, a comment like that. Undressed in the group ring. Well, if you want undressed, we'll go one stage further. This is the Chinese Crested Best of Breed winner.
Good link. The Coton De Tulear. Very interesting breed, this. Known as the Royal Dog of Madagascar.
And an old breed here, this. The English Toy Terrier, or Black and Tan.
The Griffon Bruxellois.
And the little rough-coated dog from Brussels, the Griffon Bruxellois.
Another little monkey face there. The Havanese, also known as the Habanero, the national dog of Cuba.
Very delicate little dog coming in now. The Italian Greyhound, very graceful, very racy.
The Japanese Chin.
Distinctive black and white livery of the Japanese Chin.
The King Charles Spaniel.
Not to be confused with the Cavalier King Charles, this is the King Charles. Known in some countries as the English Toy Spaniel.
The Lowchen, little lion dog.
The little lion dog, or Lowchen.
The Maltese.
The spectacular Maltese. His name says where he's recognised to come from.
Pinscher.
Such a distinctive coat and coloration. This one, the miniature Pinscher.
The Papillon.
One of the cutest toys, the Papillon. Comes France and Belgium are its places of origin. Lovely, the beautiful butterfly-like ears.
Oh, now Peter's heart I can hear melting from all the way over here on the other side of the table. This is the Pekingese.
And he's had a long day, that's why he's coming in so slowly. Thought
Stately.
it was a lap dog for old ladies. Not true, they have hearts of lions, these dogs. Love them to bits.
Now, believe it or not, this little fellow was originally bred down in size from sled-hauling dogs from Nordic countries, the little Pomeranian.
Now the Pug.
And the Pug, a hugely popular toy breed. Striding out there, showing off, taking over the ring.
And the last of our toy dogs for 2011, this one, the Yorkshire Terrier, of course.
Thank you, Graham. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Toy Group DFS Crufts 2011. The charming breeds that we are about to see, though small in stature, are huge in character and heart. Truly the little people of the dog world. Please don't be deceived by their diminutive stature.
So having seen all 23 breeds come into the ring, Group Judge Richard Haynes now is going to have a very difficult task in front of him of picking his shortlist. Where's he going to go?
Every moment lived with them will enrich your lives.
So Richard's taking a good look at this lineup. What do you think of it, Jess, as you've seen them come in there?
The toy group is always a joy, and when you see them on the last evening like this, when everybody's supporting them, these are the real companion dogs, the dogs that everybody loves to love. So there's an awful lot of support here for these little people.
And our judge, an expert with his kennel of Yorkshire Terriers, so he'll know something about that little one on its red box at the end. So he's going back to the centre to take a look at the first dog.
This is the Affenpinscher, Darkel Dominion. Mordecai's 22 months old and belongs to Mrs. Anne Horan, who also bred and owns him and is showing him in the ring today. The Affenpinscher, of course, famous for that little monkey face we can just see coming off the table there.
And one of the oldest breeds of toy dog in Europe, dating back to about the 17th century. Used to be known as the Black Devil.
Well, that's because they're lively little characters, full of mischief, and you can bet your bottom dollar it doesn't matter how big the other dogs are in the household, this little guy's going to be in charge.
Nice harsh textured coat, requires not a great deal of care, not a lot of trimming either, so an ideal dog for people who don't want a high maintenance dog.
Lovely profile there of movement. This is a sturdy little dog full of confidence, and you can really see that in the way this one's showing itself. Nice stride, maintaining its top line beautifully level on the move.
The Australian Silky Terrier.
On the table now, the Australian Silky. This is Irish, Finnish and international champion Curiosity Fine Vale. Molly is the pet name. This is a bitch. I haven't got her age, but owned by Mr. P, Mrs. J and Miss K Lawless, and it's come from Ireland. It's handled in the ring by Terry Cohonen.
And bred, by the looks of it, I think in Finland, so may well have acquired that Finnish title before coming across to this country. The Australian Silky Terrier, of course, this was 25 were entered here at Crufts, the lowest entry in this group. Used to be known as the Sydney Silky, originating from a mix of Yorkshire Terrier, and you can see that in the colour here, and the Australian Terriers. But this is no little lapdog, true terrier temperament in this toy.
The Australian Silky Terrier, 157.
Lovely profile shot there, beautiful top line.
Now for the Bichon Frise, 116 dogs, making 120 entries.
Onto the table now with the Bichon Frise. This one, Pamplona Bring Me Sunshine, 3 years old. Breed judged by Mrs. Dickinson, owned of course by Michael Code, who also bred this one.
Nice little Morecambe and Wise reference there. Pamplona Bring Me Sunshine. He's called Eric.
Do you think Michael will do the move though when he goes around the ring? I don't think so.
No, I doubt very much if he will.
This one triumphing over 116, and of course breeders and exhibitors of long standing. They won Pup of the Year with a different one this year. Historically, the Bichon was known as the Tenerife dog because that's where they originally came from before being developed further in France and elsewhere in Europe.
Well, this breed recognised by the Kennel Club in 1934, but much later here in, I think it was in the 1970s, it was first
real
recognised.
extroverts, and that being shown here.
One of the high maintenance and highly presented breeds.
The Bolognese.
Well, hiding behind our judge, Mr. Haynes, is the Bolognese. There it is. Simo, 4.5-year-old dog. Janice Stanley is the owner. They come from Thompson in Norfolk. Janice is actually handling in the ring there. This was bred by Vladislav Kamenici. So in Slovakia, I guess that must have been.
Quite a low entry here at Crufts. This breed is still in development here, 38 entered. Originally from northern Italy, and that coat is very particular, non-shedding, a flocked coat, falling in those loose strands rather than the tighter coat that you see on a Bichon Frise. But of course, a dog of similar type, probably go way back in their history, you'd find quite similar roots. The little Bolognese. Real characters, these little dogs.
15952. As usual, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Now we have the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, the most popular of the breeds shown in the toy group. 330 entered this year. This one, Pascavale Phoenix, a 3-year-old dog. He was bred by Michael Levy and Mark Sedgwick, who also own him with Kevin Klein, I think it is. They come from Essex.
The origins of this breed, a little bit hazy. It goes back several centuries, not securing Kennel Club status until 1944, and having been separated as a breed from the King Charles Spaniel. By the 1970s, this breed was the top registered, in the top 20 of British registrations, and continues to have a big entry at shows.
Beautiful, clear Blenheim colour, this, the red and white, and there's a lovely profile of the head there. Nice little wagging tail, one of the most popular in the group, and deservedly so. They make such wonderful pets.
Larger than the Cav, larger than the King Charles, and doesn't have a snub nose, of course. Well, now we come to the long-coat Chihuahua.
This is the first. They were judged by Mrs. Jean Warhead from an entry of 225.
There were 225 of these little people entered, the long coat variety. Short coats, of course, coming in a minute. This one, Diella Macaroon, 2.5 years old, owned and bred by Diane Lunny.
She'll be happy. His brother was best of breed last year. Proud little things, aren't they? They think they own the place. They really do take over the ring when they come in there.
Full of character. The name Chihuahua, although that comes from a Mexican province, it's actually thought that originally they came way back from China. Come in these 2 coat varieties, but you should see the same brisk, forceful action on the move in both of them. Neither high-stepping nor hackney, just a really good stride there, and this one looking very strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
Absolutely ideal little lapdog for old ladies. Not great to children, but a lovely little dog.
And now for the smooth-coated version. Judged today by Mrs. Carol Davies.
Well, this I called on the way in the undressed version. Not undressed at all. This is the smooth coat Chihuahua champion Collier Celebration. 18 months old only, is little Carla here. Owned by David Rees. Comes from Lydiat Ash in Bromsgrove, Worcestershire. And he's both handling and bred this. 6 cc's this dog has.
And just
Actually,
like
it's a bitch, I should say. It's a bitch.
We're looking at a very distinctive head shape there. Look at those lovely little prick ears coming forward, alert all the time. You should not mistake the fact that this is a small dog to mean that this is not a big dog inside its head. They are wonderful characters.
And they shouldn't be considered something that needs
Beautiful dark eyes and a dark nose there on this paler coat. Very striking to look at. Little tail wagging, high set, and absolutely on the move the entire time.
Tremendous energy level. Keep going for hours.
Holding its top line beautifully on the move, that one.
These are little ponies in the toy group, the Chinese Crested.
Now we move on to the Chinese Crested. These, of course, come in 2 varieties. The powder puff, which has hair all over, and this one, which is, of course, doesn't. Hairless. Hairless is the word I was looking for. I just couldn't find it. This is prefix Abraham Lincoln, a 3-year-old dog known as Peppy at home, and he's owned by Gunilla Agronius from Sweden. We get a lot of very good foreign Chinese Cresteds coming to this country, but of course we should say that Nora, the top winning dog all breeds in the UK, was not here today to compete.
As the name implies, they're hairless. Moisturiser is frequently used to keep the skin free and supple. This one looks extremely nice there. There is the other version, of course, which is the powder puff, which has a thin coat all over.
Wonderful character and temperament being shown there. Those beautiful ears working all the time. Such a happy little dog in the ring this evening.
The Coton De Tulear, 34 dogs.
Coton De Tulear. Chris DeHote Marcus, it's a great name there, isn't it? Chris, 4-year-old bitch, Veronique Place, or Place. They come from Beaulieu, near the Beaulieu-sur-Loire in France, and Veronique Place is the handler and owner.
Lovely to see another foreign competitor here. Now, as Peter said when this breed came in, originally named for the Madagascan island of Tula, where they originally came from, but they've been very much more developed in the USA, in Europe, and of course here in the UK. That's a single coat, long, fine, sometimes slightly wavy hair with a very distinctive texture like cotton, which is where the name comes from. They can be white or sometimes have lemon or grey markings on the ears. Very smart, parallel, free action is what you should see on the move.
And you should consider this if you fancy.
This one gliding towards you across the floor.
not to be confused with the Maltese.
A picture still
Looks very
exists
similar
of
from
dog
the
that
front when they
ring sound
approach.
was based upon.
But a very different coat. If you were to put
Much
your
lighter,
hands on the
isn't it?
dog, you'd feel the difference in the coat.
Much lighter coat.
English Toy Terriers were judged
Now,
by
what a
Mr.
contrast. The black and tan, the English Toy Terrier. This one, champion Cadaz Authentic, is 2.5 years old. Hattie, she's called. She was bred by Julie Baldwin, who also owns and is showing in the ring. They come from the West Midlands. 4cc, so winning the 4th at Crufts today.
And this is a little dog that its owner says if it's damp and dirty, she'll roll in it. There you go. I like that. Used to be known as, of course, the miniature black and tan terrier, but it was felt by devotees that this name was one which any terrier type in black and tan could utilise, so they changed it to the English Toy. Very distinctive with those ears and the high stepping front legs.
Elegant, though. They should be compact and sleek, clean lines and great elegance, which is what you can see here on display. The marking's very precise. Much prized, these lovely rich colours.
6856.
Well, this is the second monkey-faced little dog. We've nearly got a good view of it then, just trying to see it past Mr. Haynes' hand. The Griffon Bruxellois. Beauview Fly the Flag, Barbie, 2.5-year-old bitch, owned by Howard Ogden from Gloucestershire, handled by Howard and bred by him as well. Made its first CC today. What a place to do it.
Absolutely, but honestly, if there's anything that looks less like a Barbie than that dog, this is a very ancient breed. Van Eyck's painting, 1434, of the Arnolfini marriage. You'll see one of these little dogs in that painting, beautifully depicted as well. Again, as Peter said, a monkey face indicates the likelihood of some Affenpinscher in the background of this breed, and they're quite terrier-like as you look at that little person coming towards you. Fearless, but a great companion nonetheless. Come in rough or smooth, the smooth being called the Petit Brabazon, and they can be clear red, this a lovely black and tan, or of course all black. The little Griffon Bruxellois.
I think you're just showing off talking about Van Eyck.
I like paintings.
On the table now, the Havanese.
The Havanese, very distinctive, lovely face on there. Semlans Evita, known as Smulan, a 4-year-old bitch, owned by Caroline Haglund, come from Bromölla in Sweden. I think I've got that pronunciation right. The breeder, Gunilla Herwin.
Another one characterised by the coat, this one long, soft, and should be shown untrimmed, maybe tidied a little, in white, cream, black, blue, silver or chocolate. Wonderful variety of colours. Friendly, outgoing little dog. If you went to discover dogs, this is one of the ones you'd love to pick up and give a good cuddle to. Not at all dominant, it's just not in their nature.
And Havanese, of course, from Havana, Cuba originally. That's the thought of it as well. The Havana Silk Dog, the Havanese.
The Italian Greyhound. The breed were judged.
This is the Italian Greyhound. This one, Rillaby Miss Sunshine, 3-year-old bitch known as Abby at home, with Jan Doherty and Pat Spencer, bred by Pat Spencer and handled by Nick Goley in the ring this evening.
Racy little dog, which claims a background dating back to the days of Pompeii, before the eruption. Found his way to Britain in the 17th century.
And one of the most famous paintings.
It's a cheerful, brave and courageous dog, and obviously a greyhound, but it's the Italian Greyhound.
Very, very
Little
delicate lines we're looking for with this breed, and they mirror that gentle and loving nature. There isn't a scrap of the roughy-tufty about this dog. However, don't mistake, they love their exercise and they can be swift and very agile at play. Beautiful top line there, elegant curves in the Italian Greyhound.
The Japanese Chin is next.
This is the Japanese Chin. This one, champion Vanistica Kazuki Sleepy Hollow, one of my favourite movies. 23 months old, this dog, known as Woody, was bred by Mr. and Mrs. Paul England and is owned by Tony Alacombe and Tony Young.
In some parts of the world, this breed's known as the Japanese Spaniel. The word chin actually means cat-like, and he does use his paws in the manner of a cat to wash his face. I think they're extremely cute. The markings are always like this, very, very distinctive, and I think it's a striking little breed.
stylish, straight, parallel movement we should get from this one. Of course, this black and white can also be red and white, and the coat pattern is very important, particularly on the head. This beautiful head.
Japanese chin, 17155.
Gorgeous expression.
This was the second breed, the King Charles Spaniel, to be judged by Mrs.
The King Charles Spaniel. This one, champion maybe Theo. I'm sure he's definitely Theo. 2 years old. He was bred by Mrs. Waters Robbins and is owned by Mesdames Waters and Robbins. I think that was an incorrection. That's not right though. But anyway, they come from Newcastle.
Well, the King Charles is a very compact dog, very distinctive domed skull, which has a wide, deep, turned-up muzzle, large, dark eyes, make him most appealing. I mean, they are lovely looking little dogs.
Great substance though. When you look at that little dog going, it's got fantastic substance. The long silky coat, a little like the Cavalier King Charles, of course, and similar colours in that you get tricolour, that beautiful blend and ruby, and
You've lost the plot. Let's just talk about him. He derives his name obviously from being a great favourite of King Charles II.
And they are wonderful characters. They're the most tremendous characters.
Little lion dog. The breed were judged by Mrs. Sue Terry.
This is the little Lowchen, the little lion dog, the Lowchen, international Nordic champion Chick Choi Maki Lafay.
I'm glad it's not just me that loses the plot.
Oh, I don't know why I get these names. 5-year-old dog known as Pertti, owned by Mr. Ilpo Ojala from Oulu in Finland. The whole way through this description is getting very confusing. 3 cc's, so this is a winning little dog.
And that coat, it's long and wavy, never curly, and single, and if you put your fingers on it, it's a lovely silky texture, trimmed in this very particular way to make the Lowchen look like a little lion dog. Big mane over the shoulders and framing that lovely head. Level top line there, high set tail like a plume over the back, and little boots on his feet.
The Maltese.
On the table now, the distinctive coloration of the Maltese, that black eyes and black nose, we call it black pigment, on a beautiful white coat. This is Benetton Gold Bow, comes from a dynasty of successful Maltese. Sarah and Rosemary Jackson, Sarah handling in the ring.
Only 3 years old, first CC today. The Maltese is likely to have been a pure breed in Malta for many, many years. They've been known around the Mediterranean, breeds of this type, for absolute centuries. The Phoenician traders probably had dogs of this type with them when they were out. It's one of the sweetest of the toy breeds, and I love its movement. Head held up, aren't they beautiful?
The movement's really important, and don't be confused by the fact that this coat would prevent this dog from being a dog. It doesn't. At home, the skirts will be hitched up, and this dog will take exercise like any other dog would. And although that coat's profuse, it should never impede movement, and it certainly isn't here. You can see those little legs working beautiful, free, parallel strides, coat flowing against the green carpet. It's a really lovely picture.
And next, it's the miniature Pinscher. This breed was judged by Mrs. Ray Parry. Best of breed was number 17573.
On the table, the miniature Pinscher. This one champion Hawk's Flight, Seal with a Kiss. 3.5 years old is Rory, bred by Miss Nikki Mackey and owned by Mr. and Mrs. D.H. Smith.
Second time best of breed here at Crufts for this particular miniature Pinscher. A smart, clean outline on the Pinscher, sturdy, compact in its body. A unique sort of hackney gait. You'll see that as it moves here.
Never to be confused with the English Toy Terrier. This little chap was derived from the Doberman Pinscher, just downsized, of course bred in Germany. Smart, clean, unfussy outline, and that coat is lustrous and short. It can either be black, blue or chocolate, with distinctive tan markings that are important in this breed. You'll see as it turns a long, slightly arched, graceful neck, fighting the lead just a little, overexcitement in the big ring. And the top line slopes slightly towards the tail. That's correct for this breed.
The Papillon best of breed was number 17822.
I'm really fond of the Papillon with those lovely butterfly wing ears. I've been watching a lot of them doing agility. This one is Papelwick, Pretty in Pink at Adneken. I think that's the correct name. Pippa is the pet name. This is a bitch, only 20 months old. The breed judge today was Michael Quinney. He knows these rather well. Kathy Smith is the owner. The dog is handled by daughter Jennifer, and the breeder was Dr. Olding and JP Monroe. And this one, 2 reserve CCs, first CC today.
And what a place to do it. And of course the Papillon does come in a different variety. Papillon butterfly ears stand up, but the Feline has folded ears, lower set ears, which are named after the moth. Derived from toy spaniels like the King Charles and the Cavalier King Charles, that coat is long and silky, which would have provided protection, as well as now being something that means you want to cuddle up with this little person on the sofa. They live to a great age, the Papillon, tremendous characters.
And wonderfully trainable as well. They do heel work to music, they do agility. I'm told they can even do fly ball, would you believe?
Pekingese. Judge today was Mr. Eddie Herbal.
Well, we can't really see it there, but that is the back end of a Pekingese. This is Levander there it is. This is, I can't really read, Norman I think the pet name is, this two-year-old dog, owned by Stuart and Andrea from Keighley in West Yorkshire, and Andrea Livesey is actually handling in the ring. So Stuart and Andrea Livesey are actually the breeders as well. This 3rd CC today, made up to champion. These little dogs are amongst my favourites.
I know you adore them. This one's an aristocrat whose lineage literally goes all the way back to the Tang dynasty. They've been recognised here since about 1910. Under all that coat, we have a dog with a very characteristic head, round dark eyes, heart-shaped ears set on level with the skull, which gives this wonderful frame. The body's quite short with a distinct waist, broad-chested, level top line you'll see as the dog turns. They have quite substantial bone for such a little dog, and they should move at this stately gait. You never hurry a Pekingese, do you?
You never
Peter?
hurry one, but my word, if they want to, they can run. They really can run.
Mr. Geoffrey Davis judged the Pomeranians.
The Pomeranians, Sophie's Queen Bee. Queen Bee she's called at home, and I should imagine she is one. She was bred by Vinnie Jacobson, who also owns her, and they've come all the way from Denmark to compete, and also winning 3 CCs, so I think this one's been made up to a champion today as well.
You wouldn't think it ever ate, seeing the size it is, but this dog's hobbies are eating and sleeping, according to its owners. Britain is listed as the country of development of the Pomeranian. It's a Spitz-type dog, descended from the much larger dogs that pull sledges and things, but it is a mini version of that, bred from the German Spitz before being known in Britain in 1870.
Fantastic characters, these little dogs. That foxy head surrounded by all that profuse standoff coat, which is double, comes in all colours. He's short, compact, high-set tail curled over his back, framing the picture of the dog. They're brisk and buoyant, wonderful little characters.
The Pomeranian, 18036.
Little bundle of fluff.
Ah, the distinctive face of the pug, so highly prized in China where he was originally developed. This one is Tangetoppen's Unbreakable News. 2.5 years old is Martha. She was bred by Elizabeth Olsen and Bjorn Erling Lowchen, and is owned by Julia Verho. They've come from Finland to compete, and certainly seeing this pug come into the ring, I think we've got a bit of a contender here.
This is a dog that's won groups in many countries in Europe.
Beat 273 others to be here today. The wrinkles on his face and forehead are very important characteristics, but should never interfere either with his eyes or his nose. Those round dark eyes and that wonderful black muzzle on this fawn coming towards us. If you stroke those little black ears, they feel like velvet. Gorgeous things.
Very, very popular. Lovely, lovely lap dog. Beautiful dog, the pug, but very fit, very healthy, this one.
Agility, as you might already have seen at Crufts. The pug, 18266. The last competitor.
This is the Yorkshire Terrier. This is Champion Largate Poetry in Motion at La Bella. Storm is the pet name. It's a 3-year-old bitch owned by Sharon Johnson Love from Alvaclax in Scotland. Sharon's handling there in the ring. Top winning bitch in 2010, 6 cc's to its name. It's only a young dog, so that's a good amount of winning, and has had one Group 3 in the group.
Now, if I tell you as you look at this dog that it was originally derived from the Black and Tan Terrier, the Maltese and the Skye, you wouldn't be surprised, would you? That wonderful coat is incredibly important in this breed. It's one of the defining characteristics. Steel blue with bright tan, and the brightness of the colours very highly valued. Long, fine and silky in texture, never wavy or woolly. And although it's long, it doesn't impede the little dog's movement. Once it gets going, you can see it can tank its way around the ring with the best of them.
And this little breed as a whole, they really do have terrier characteristics, don't they? They're quite happy to hunt a ball or even rats and rabbits in the garden.
Absolutely, a spirited toy terrier is exactly what we want. Should be fairly compact and neat like all the dogs in this group, but nonetheless full of themselves.
The breed type for the Yorkshire Terrier.
So there's Richard Haynes. He's now had hands on and seen them all 23 breeds he's seen. He's now got to make a selection and make a short list. He's got a difficult task. So now he's going to walk down the line again.
So that's all our competitors.
Of course, this is the point where the judge has had his hands on all these dogs. What he's doing now is reminding himself, okay, I liked this one, I liked that one, but this one was a bit better than that one. Comparing them all against the breed standard and also ordering them in his head. What does he like? What is he going to pull out? And what, sadly, is he going to have to leave behind? Very important.
Lovely job to be given, isn't it?
Oh,
to
absolutely.
judge the group here at Crufts. Absolutely marvellous. He's made his mind up and he's not wasting time. He's going to go up to the left end of the line and pick from the left, so let's see where he goes and what he brings out.
This, of course, is first cut.
He's bringing the Bichon Frise. He's bringing the King Charles, the Cavalier King Charles. He's bringing the
a wonderful Chinese Crested,
Chinese
so
Crested,
full of character, gave
the
such
Italian
a good performance.
Greyhound coming out there. The Lowchen is coming out. The Maltese is coming out. Not the Papillon, the Pekingese, I'm pleased about. Nice to see the peak coming out. The Pomeranian
and that gorgeous little pug.
Well, that's a good selection. 8 of them, or is it 9? It's 9. He's picked 9 for his shortlist.
9 in our shortlist then.
Well, those that didn't make the shortlist are leaving the ring, and we're left with 9 dogs that Richard Haynes has picked out. We've got the Bichon Frise.
So I think it would be
We've
nice
got
to
the...
Let's hear your support of them. This is the Bichon
Now we see the Bichon Frise moving again. Champion Pamplona, Bring Me Sunshine. Coming from a great dynasty of good breeding from Michael Code and Jeff Corrish's kennel. Such a characterful little dog, that crisp white coat, tail plume carried over the back, full of character, and giving a wonderful performance here on final moving in the ring.
And now the unique Chinese Crested dog.
Crested, 16632.
Wonderful
and stepping out
performance.
beautifully. Looks like a little pony, which is what they're supposed to do. Look at that. Stepping out beautifully, showing off. Very flash.
Next, we're going to see the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel move again. This one, Pascavale Phoenix, bred by Michael Levy and Mark Sedgwick. Beautiful, crisp Blenheim colours, that lovely head coming towards you, very distinctive shape, characteristic of the breed, that silky coat, holding its top line nicely on the move there. Tail never stops wagging.
And now it's the turn of the delicate, Dresden-like, but not really delicate, but looks it, Italian Greyhound. This lovely little dog stepping out nicely there. Again, a little bit high stepping at the front, which is really nice there. Abby, this 3-year-old bitch. from Bicester and Newport respectively, as the owners are separately.
Gorgeous
from there.
flowing lines there.
The Lowchen, little lion dog.
The little lion dog, the Lowchen. This one, international Nordic champion, Chihuahua Makey Lafar.
I made the same difficulty over that word as over that name as announced it before.
Powering round the ring for such a little dog.
Now the Maltese.
Not surprised to see the Maltese in this shortlist. This is Bo, this 3-year-old. A very sweet breed, and this lovely movement that just flows over the ground. You don't really see the feet, except as it moves away, you just catch the back legs kicking out at the back through that lovely, lovely coat.
The Pekingese.
The young Pekingese, Levander Maluda, 3cc, so becoming a champion today. Stuart and Andrea Livesey will be absolutely thrilled to bits, I'm sure.
This dog has an absolutely massive coat, beautifully prepared, moving slowly, sedately, delicately. But I tell you, these dogs have real attitude and energy.
The little Pomeranian, Sophie's queen bee, and doesn't she just look the queen bee?
She does indeed. 5 years old, this little bitch.
Plume of a tail carried over the back with all the self-assurance you'd expect of this breed.
And the pug.
And the 9th and final dog in the shortlist, the pug. This is 2.5-year-old Martha. I always used to call these Pekingese without the clothes on, but it's not, because the legs are straight. It's a very square, beautiful moving
And
little
what a
dog.
character. This one looks like there's a much bigger dog hiding inside that pug shape.
I think all the toy dogs are like that. They all think they're giants. The boards are coming out, and that means Mr. Haynes has signalled that he's prepared to make his decision now. One last walk down the line. Where's he going to go?
DFS Crufts 2011.
It's the
He's picked
Bichon
the Bichon
Frise.
Frise. These highly presented dogs, beautifully shown by Michael Code. And Group 2 goes to the Lowchen.
Group 3, that fantastic little pug.
And Group 4, the Pomeranian. No luck today for the Pekingese, but there's our 4.
And the Pomeranian. 4th.
Congratulating those leaving the ring. They've done so well to make it to the final cut. But there's our winner.
Long, long day for these little dogs. But I'll tell you, the 4 that are in the front line there, this Bichon Frise being the #1 of them, they really are happy. They're not going to be tired now.
Beautiful sent vase to the winner of the toy group this evening.
I love the name.
Is Mr.
Eric.
Peter de Savary, internationally known entrepreneur, yachtsman and philanthropist, escorted into the ring by Anne MacDonald, Vice Chairman of the Crufts Committee.
The Vice Chairman of the Crufts Committee bringing out Mr. Peter de Savary, who is the entrepreneur, who is going to present the award there to the handler, Michael Code, of this lovely Bichon Frise. The dog is owned. It's actually owned by Michael. Obviously, he was just handling.
Oh,
He's owned by
they've
him
been
as well,
breeding
isn't it? Of
these
course.
and many others for so many years. Consummate handlers, preparing their dogs to perfection.
17408.
And there's the little lion dog receiving the rosette for Group 2.
Third in the group, the pug, 18266.
The pug standing to attention. That rosette's for me. I want to eat
Fourth
it.
in the group, 18036.
And in Group 4, the little Pomeranian.
Thank you, George.
Doesn't like the look of you.
Let's now, ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely lovely
have a
group.
look of
That
honour
was
for the
really
toy
nice.
group winners for the DFS Crufts 2011.
Here comes Michael Code, the proud owner and handler of this beautiful Bichon Frise. Champion, Pamplona, bring me sunshine. Eric, come on, do the dance, Michael. Show you can do it. If we'd known he was going to win, we could have chosen the music, couldn't we?